Jeff was born with prune belly, is what we were informed it was called. We found out later it was called abdominal muscular skeletal disorder. He doesn't have any stomach muscles. His kidneys were damaged, and so for him, one of the kidneys was there, but it really didn't function. The second kidney functioned, but only at about 50%. A couple years go by, and Derek decides to show up, we were obviously a little nervous when she was pregnant with Derek, because all the birth defects had happened with Jeff. And he comes out just, perfect. He looked great. So at age about 2.5, we noticed that Derek was acting strangely. He wasn't talking, and he would get fixated on spinning things. He went into special doctors that just looked at that type of disorder and came back with a diagnosis of autism. You just have to deal with these things as they come and do the best you can. So 1.5 years ago, Jeff and Sarah invited us over because they had some news. It wasn't great news that his last doctor's appointment came back that his kidney function was now down below 20. Once it gets to 15, you have to either go on dialysis or you need to get a kidney transplant. We decided we better tell Derek about Jeff's issue just because things were going to start happening. And so when we told him, we were just shocked that the first thing that came out of his mouth was, do I need to get a blood test? And we're like, no, but you would want to be a donor? And he's like, yeah, I'd want to be a donor. Over the course of 3 or 4 months, he met with doctors and coordinators, and he passed all their screens. And so they sent him to a neuropsychologist. And when we met with the guy afterwards, the guy said, he knows exactly what he's doing. He said he may not have the depth of knowledge, but he knows exactly what he's doing. The day of the surgery, probably one of the hardest days that Florence and I have ever been through. We put on as brave a face as we could, but when they wheeled them both back, we were both just blubbering idiots. Surgery happens, and I think it was certainly within 24 hours, Jeff's kidney numbers went from almost nothing to almost normal. And then within 48 hours, they were better than normal. So recently, the entire family went to Disneyland. Jeff and Sarah wanted to take the boys down to Disneyland for their 5th birthday, and he pushed strollers around Disneyland for 5 days, and he did better than I did, and here he is only, 6 months post-transplant. Raising 2 kids that have kind of issues. One was more physical in nature, the other one was more, his mental capacity. It does allow you to kind of focus on like one thing at a time type of thing. So at work, for me, I think I developed kind of the attitude of, we're just going to work on one thing and we're going to celebrate that victory, and then we'll move on to the next thing. I have developed the ability to help these employers celebrate small, successes and victories. Or if I have a coworker who has just kind of gone a little bit above and beyond, I'll send them out an email and say, hey, thanks a lot. I'm used to doing that with my kids, that, hey, we're going to celebrate whatever we can control, because there's a lot of things out there you can't control. Don't sweat the small stuff. Just focus on the things that you can focus on.